G'day social media fans, Big Juz here from the Just Your Average Fisho's Facebook and Instagram page, coming at you with another special Tech Tackle episode, and one that is very, very exciting. Like always, I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the Baron. Thank you for joining again.
Pleasure. On a topic I know nothing about.
That's not true, you've caught a keg.
It doesn't mean I know anything.
We are Just Your Average Fishos. It's okay, but we're going to take you on a bit of a tackle journey here, because when you want to start wrangling with the bigger fish species, you need to have the right gear, and it's better to invest and get quality gear than the old, $89 rod and the big plastic reel combo.
Look, if you've seen the other videos, you'll know that I'm not a tackle nut.
Guilty.
But these stunning works of art that we're about to talk about on the game tackle it's another level. You really see the difference in quality going from point A to point B.
I think there was a moment down at Complete Angler Ringwood where you were looking at some combos for yourself, and if buying tackle is an art form, I'm Da Vinci. So...
and my wallet was scared.
But in fairness though, like, if we just put tackle aside for one moment, how good is the local tuna fishery here in Melbourne?
If I can catch one, then it's great.
Well, I have to say that canned tuna are just... We just edit that word out. But so I struggled last season, like no tomorrow. Season before.
On tuna?
Yeah,
on tuna. You're still shaking.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
You put me on them, and then a stupid...
No. I didn't put you on them.
No, yes. Someone else did. A very good charter friend of ours.
He does?
Yes,
Yep.
Yeah, he does. Who shall remain nameless, Fruits. But
Thank you, Fruits.
Thank you, Fruits. It was amazing. Took me right to the spot after a long day of searching. And yeah, 40-pound leader. Mistake. But anyway, that bit aside.
Do you know what? The tuna is really thankful for his new jewellery he now has.
Two of them. Two of them with King Browns in their lips.
Okay, so...
They were rust out. They'll be fine. But the tuna fishing is recovering. The work that fisheries have done, we as recreational and commercial fishermen have done, is all fantastic. Elmer Glashen has reported.
I think you've got to look at it globally. The comeback isn't due to any one part that we've done locally or this area. It's a global catch management system that is now reaping rewards. And we're lucky to be able to see that. When I moved to Melbourne 10 years ago...
It was unheard of.
It started about 2 years after that in Portland with that barrel run that existed out on the shelf.
Yeah. Yep. And
now they're borderline. Well, now they are catching them in the rip. Not right now.
Not right now.
They have and do.
But there's like almost tuna is becoming like a 7 out of the 12 month in local waters, shall I say? Because people say, "Oh, local Melbourne, it's not Melbourne, it's not Port Phillip Bay." No, that is true. Bass Strait. Yep. So, but from basically Inverloch down to Portland, Apollo Bay, Anglesea, Barwon Heads, you name it, there are times when tuna are going very, very well offshore. And we're not talking just school tuna, we're talking jumbo tuna. And that's what we're more angling on the tackle side of things today.
All you have to look at is someone like JYAF in Tasmania has now proved that he has caught one in every single month of the year.
Yeah.
That's not far from here.
Yeah.
I went to the shelf off Apollo Bay a couple of weeks ago. If I'd have gone slightly to the left, I probably would have been in Tasmania. It's not that far away.
We've done the long yards. We've done some big petrol burning days for no
result.
That
was a long way.
Yeah, you've had a long one as well. We had Richie Abella from Dreamcatcher 2 sports fishing charters here at the Mitcham Angling Club the other night.
Did you hear me crying?
Yeah, I could hear you crying from the North Coast.
I was in Darwin. It was that far away. It hurt.
There was a lot of little bite-sized chunks that he's so good at delivering, but certainly one of the comments that he made was that the whole global fishery is like only 20% recovered from years agone, and how good is it locally?
Yeah, the biomass is at 20%.
Yep.
And this is what we're seeing.
Now, whether this is like a 7-year patch, 8-year patch, and then it goes dead, we just don't know.
But they keep getting bigger.
They keep getting bigger, and we're now going to talk about some tackle. Now, there is a load of rod and reel combos that you can go for, and I have owned many.
And there are also a lot of people who know far better than us. So we're going to preface this that we haven't decided what we're doing based on our knowledge and our experience. It's talking to people who know what they're doing, who live it day in, day out, and know what they want and know what they use. And we took their informed decision.
100%. And we've talked on a previous episode, do you go rod or do you go reel? And we made the decision that we went pretty nice rod, but we've gone the granddaddy of the reel. Okay, so we'll introduce what we've gone for, and then we're going to discuss why and how we've partnered up to do this. So as fishing mates, so that we can get more bang for buck in running a full spread, because we're generally going to fish together anyway.
Because you can guarantee if there's the poorer cousin rod that's in the spread, that's the one the biggest tuner's going to grab.
That's right.
Not
and
your,
it's going to hurt you.
Yeah, not the nice combo that you've just put up there. You say you've got a broken down TLD that you've bought off eBay, and you decide to put a Pakula Lumo sprocket on it. You wouldn't put a Pakula Lumo sprocket on that one.
No, because it's going to get bit, it's going to run, and you're going to need to pour salt water on that reel to cool that bastard down. I tell you what. And if we talk rods for a second, in the poorer cousin series, of which there is a load, right? They're not helping the angler, because they're either going to be undergunned and too noodly and do none of the fighting for you, or at the opposite end, they're going to be broomstick and want to pull you overboard and just damage your back.
And we're getting old.
We're getting old.
We're not as fit as we used to be. Will we ever fit?
Look at this stunning picture, mate, of advertising right here. But in fairness, no, you're absolutely right. So let's introduce it. So after a truckload of research, this is what we've gone for. All right.
So I bought the handle, he bought the reel, and then we're good.
So we have gone for Shimano Speedmaster game rod, 24 kilo stand up, okay? It does have an interchangeable butt. Now you'll see...
Hold up.
Yes.
It does?
Yes.
I didn't know.
Well, you would need to buy a bent butt for it, but yes, you can actually, or if you wanted to upgrade to a Winthrop brand of butt if you wanted to make it so you could change it, albeit that it's not easy to do when you could go a Terminator if you wanted to. But yeah, just undo this and off she comes, right?
I probably should have known that, shouldn't I?
No, not at all. Like, look, stand up on tuna is cool, all right? I fought a few tuna on stand up. I wasn't able to boat them. You've caught them on stand up, no problems. So, you know, the thing is that why we went for this particular one is because it has a beautiful bending rod. It's fully Fuji guided, and then it has obviously the roller tip. Some rods tend to just have a solid tip these days, which is more common in sorting, but this has a roller tip, so we're not a fully rollered rod, which is fine for mono and braid with the quality of the silicon carbide guides that you get these days, and just with one roller tip at the front, the only maintenance is in one roller rather than a whole rod of rollers, okay? And the reason why we haven't gone the 37 kilo rod is because the 24 kilo has a great sort of mid, you know, it has a great parabolic curve in it, and it's still allowing plenty of lift strength without it being too broomsticky, which some of the 37 kilo rods are. Now, this is by no means the top of the Shimano range when it comes to...
Oh, this beautiful thing is.
Well, this is. Now, we'll get to that in 1 second, yes. Again, the rod is still not the top of the range when it comes to Shimano game.
But say with 24, 37, do you think they're underrating them again?
Yeah, I think all rods can do a lot more than what you think. And this one certainly has, you know, the carbon sleeving over it, so it's going to have a lot more power than what you think. Now, again, I'm no tuna, you know, catching machine, you know, as much as charterers are, so they could speak to a lot more experience than I can. But certainly the feedback from a number of people that we spoke to, and also the stores and the reps and so forth, was that this is the choice, okay? So you could certainly change out that butt and go to a bent butt if you wanted to. You can actually buy the 24 kilo now in a bent butt as well, because they've slightly upgraded these since the first series. So they used to be black with this sort of carbon looking butt end, and now they're just this sort of like polymer material with more shiny bits. But this is where it really becomes all one right here. So the Shimano Talica 52 speed, the pinnacle of game sophistication. Now, most people would go old traditional Shimano Tiagra 50 wide LRSA, absolutely, but you're shaving nearly a kilo of real weight by going for one of these. Now, yes, you're paying more for it. The benefit is is that we can use these with either 37 kilo spooled straight through, or as we have here, 600 meters of Shimano Creaky 8-strand braid, which will top shot with about 200 meters of Tiagra 37 kilo line down to a double to a wind-on leader. We've gone matching outfits. So I bought a few and you have now bought a few.
So, and this was the key. So I was looking to get into more game fishing. Basically, I went to his shed, I raided your tackle collection. I went to a mate's shed, I raided his tackle collection, went to Portland, caught a keg. I was like,
hooked.
We're in.
Yep.
But I'm a tight ass with tackle. So I couldn't justify buying 5 outfits like this. And it was looking at like, oh, well, do I buy 2 TLDs and 2 Tiagras? And then we kind of thought about it. Well, if we're going fishing, we're either going to be going fishing together, or we're going to be coming to steal each other's gear.
Which we do with our friends that we're very close with, because we have the UF rule, which is you fix or replace. You know, these are like, you've got to treat them really poorly to bugger them up, right? So,
and that what made the decision to spend the amount of money on 2 combos instead of spending that amount of money on 4 to 5. It just seemed like the right decision for longevity, the updated tech that's in them, lighter weight, better drags, and also being able to double over, new top shot, new rod, sword rig.
So 100%. So we can easily go to change these to sword rigs. Now, you would probably more go bent butt for that. But we do have.
That's what was interesting when you said you could change the butt. I'm like, oh, well, but 24 kilo.
24 kilo. So we probably wouldn't use this for a sword rod. I do have sword rods at home that we can use, that we can then put these reels on.
So whereabouts are they in the shed? So when I come over, I can.
I'm moving house. Okay. I'm not going to tell you the new address. But Talica 50 is well known for sword rod, well known for giant tuna, absolutely. Probably a bit of overkill for marlin, unless you're going up for big marlin in, you know, Coral Sea and so forth.
Now, is it a bit too early to say there might be a couple going cheap into cash converters somewhere up the East Coast?
Oh, Richie, if you're watching, I feel sorry for you, mate. That was just terrible. Yeah, if those that follow Richie Abella from Dreamcatcher 2 Charters, he was having a palmer after taking some people sword fishing, and some local help themselves to some of his gear.
So that's a bit of a dig, but if you see this reel and a bent butt sitting in a cash converters or somewhere, reach out to Richie Abella. Or the police, depends on which order you want to do, is up to you, because it's not right.
No, it wasn't right, but look, we've got some shiny ones here. So multi-purpose reel, somewhat of a multi-purpose rod, because these would be fine for marlin, absolutely. Be it lure fishing, you could even probably switch bait if you wanted to go overhead on this one.
My 2 are sitting up with my boat in the North Coast because there's an upwelling that's about to disappear and the yellowfin are coming in off the edge of it.
And the yellowfin have been a good size. I've seen some of the unloading from the professional fishermen's pages. They have been some very, very nice size yellowfin.
At the moment, they're 150 mile out.
Yep.
It's a bit far.
Yeah. Al McGlashan's been catching a couple, I think. Or was that
no, they're bluefin off Sydney.
Bluefin off Sydney. Okay, all right. Well, so Talica 50 2-speed, so you can change the speed up, wind down. Again, about a kilo lighter than a 50 wide. You are paying a lot more for it. However, this will hold easily 1,000 meters of 80-pound braid, plus top shot on top for sorting.
With 1,000 meters, there's not that much top shot. Yeah,
no, there's
like
not.
50 meters.
Yeah, probably 100 if you're using 37, and you know, I'll use 130-pound for sorting. So, but I'll also use. We have one of these dedicated to swords, so it does have 130-pound holocore braid. And the reason we use that for sorting is because if we have those deep sea spiny bloody leather jacket things that are biting braid off mid,
I got revenge on one last week.
I hope you did.
It took my lure. I took it home. Or his friend home.
Okay, bait fishing. All right. Look, a couple of little finer points when you do join the butts in to the top of the rod. Just a little bit of the inox lanolin grease. Same on when you're tightening things up. A little bit of lanolin grease on all of the connecting parts here. A little bit of lanolin grease or a little bit of electrical tape, because we've got opposing metals here. Couldn't more highly recommend that. It'll help you look after these in the long run. And also, let's talk about just briefly setting drags. It was a very big part of Richie's talk. Learnt a few things. Most people, if you're fishing 37 kilo drag, will naturally set 1/3 of the breaking strain as your drag pressure when you get to the strike setting on the rod, which is generally 12 kilos. However, if you have a barrel that takes you for a big run, or you've wound down your braid a bit, you don't have a lot of top shocks, it's been a bit nasty, you've chopped it off and replatted it, if your reel, as your reel goes down in diameter, your drag actual pressure goes up. Particular with sword fishing, this is a concern because you're generally fighting, you can be fighting those swords very deep, 600, 400 meters. So Richie actually sets his drag to about 10 or 11 kilos.
After he goes under, compensating for
line loss. So really, really smart. Probably not so bad on the barrel scene because you might fight them top water. You might only be fishing 70 meters of water. So not so bad, 12 kilo strike drag, but certainly in the sword fishing, back them off that little bit further.
But if you talk to Peter Bakula and those kind of guys that were running 8 kilo setups, they're running half drag. They're running higher than third anyway. If you're setting it to a third and then you're losing 2/3 of your spool, it's not so bad. But if you're already setting those drags at half the breaking strain and then you've got the increase, that's where it'd be more of an issue, wouldn't it?
Yeah, possibly. Absolutely. Well, again, I'm no expert, right? So we've decided to go for a few of these combos each so we can run a 5 combo spread now. So short rigger, long rigger, short corner, long corner, and shotgun, and have complete matching outfits, which is great. The reason why we're using...
Except mine's got top shot.
Yeah, yours does have top shot. Now, this one was just newly assembled, obviously, because I have not been fishing for barrels as yet. I don't have a boat. The new boat is coming. We'll talk about that later. But they're all ready to go. We'll probably get about 150 metres of top shot on this one.
Speaking of top shot, there's only one way to do it.
There is only one way to do it. Now, if you are a member of the Mitcham Angling Club and you come down on a Friday social night, this is what you need. Talk us through it, Ben.
Is it Frank?
Frank at Busted Fishing.
Correct. Years ago, he made this beautiful... Oh, look, this spins.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, we got a product. Busted Fishing Bees Knees Rules spooler. So I think a lot of marriages have ended in divorce from people filling fishing reels with a screwdriver and a tea towel.
And my wife on the other end of the couch trying to watch Netflix. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's like, are we finished yet?
Yep.
This thing... This winds down, applies drag to the spool, wind it until your heart's content.
Yep.
So on a Friday social down at the Mitcham Angling Club,
Yep.
bring your outfit down, bring your line down,
Yep.
pizzas, fishing simulator just over there.
Use of the club fishing tools.
And a bar.
Can't go wrong. Cheap beer or soft drink if you're that way inclined. This is just a magnificent piece of kit. I cannot speak more highly of this. And you can actually go, you don't just need to, buy bees, or you can just buy bees knees and then mount it to a heavy piece of metal like we have.
It's not. Oh, so this is, so Keith Lyon, if you're watching, thank you for the base.
Yeah, thank you for the base and mounting it all up for us.
If anyone needs a gym workout, just come and list this a few times and then you're sorted.
But yeah, Frank at Busted Fishing, you can go to the point of getting a whole rigged up, like spooling machine with the drill, the whole works.
And I heard these have got a rod holder attachment.
Yes, apparently. I don't know exactly how it works, but we might need to get Frank on a show and come and show us.
Here's the Ducks Nuts sliders. I know you don't like them, but I like them.
You use them.
They're good.
Yeah, I don't. We'll talk about that in another show. And then obviously when we're using our 37 kilo top shot to the Talica 50, got to go the wind-ons. We've mentioned these before.
So there was some debate about this.
Yes.
I don't know enough to enter the debate.
Yep. Let's talk about the debate.
Richie is the man.
Richie's the man.
What did he say?
He said, use a wind-on leader. And I like his theory. Again, I think we've discussed this in a previous Tech Tackle episode. Very quickly, there is two schools of thought. Wind-on and then not wind-on. The people that don't like using a wind-on...
Isn't that Shakespeare play?
To wind on. To wind or not to wind on. I think the school of thought is that if you don't use wind-ons, you go, it's just another point of failure, potentially. Yep. It can also, if tuna and certain fish species can be leader shy. And if you go too heavy on the wind-on for the type of gear or lure that you're running, it can change action, okay? All good things. However, most of us are average fishers. Yep. I think that in game fishing world, only a fair only a small, minute amount.
Well, they say 10% catch the fish. I reckon it's like 1% of the 10% know what they're doing in game fishing.
True. So therefore, if we had Richie leadering line for us on the boat and telling us what to do, I think there's a fair chance
he'd be telling us what to do, but he wouldn't be the one leadering.
He wouldn't be the one leadering, but yeah, we might be leadering. But if we were on 37 kilo top shot, you know, you need a good linesman well, a fisher that knows what they're doing and the drag pressure. But if it bumps the boat, tuna tend to pinwheel, you know. So wind-ons, you know, to then, you know, fish IGFA legal as well are a thing. Now, however, as we've mentioned before, there are wind-ons and there are wind-ons. And the ones that we use, we support Ash at Deep Blue Water Tackle, deepbluewatertackle.com.au. He's an engineer. He hand ties all these. He uses only the finest Dacron. He double stitches them and double whips them and then waxes them, which a lot of people don't.
I'm just going to nod as well because I know nothing.
Wax smoothing.
Yep.
And double whipping means that you're just removing all likelihood that there's going to be any line slippage. Now, there generally isn't anyway if you've got the right Dacron size to the right leader size, but he then double whips, okay? So he uses...
Look at the beautiful braiding.
Oh, it's phenomenal. And
does he make jumpers as well?
It looks like he can knit. I know, look, we call him the angry Egyptian because he is very, very angry, and I think that for what he earns out of a wind-on for the time invested, he's very poor. But we buy a lot of wind-ons off him, and I've never, ever, ever had one fail. And someone who catches a lot more tuna and marlin than us, Lockie O'Reilly, from Lockie's Fishing Adventures, he exclusively uses these.
You keep saying the name wrong. It's O'Reilly's Fishing Adventures.
I don't know. He's changed his name like 5 times.
Okay.
Whatever.
Lockie O'Reilly, we are sorry. Write in. What is the business called?
Write in. What is
O'Reilly's Fishing Services?
No, it's Lockie's Fishing Adventures. I don't know. You'll find both on Google.
Okay. Just Google Lockie O'Reilly.
You'll see a young bearded kid with these big bloody green demon.
Bearded?
Woo! Yeah, he's got a beard. Yeah. Yeah. He's got like, well, he's attempting to grow a beard.
It's kind of like me. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's a shagger beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the youth of today, he exclusively uses these. So, and has never had one fail and uses them for multiple jumbos, marlin, anything with a pointy end.
Yep.
As Richie said in his talk, anything with a pointy end, wind on, wind on, wind on.
Yeah,
so as well. Now tuna doesn't necessarily have a pointy end, but that's more of the protection of the angler. So braid, 37 kilo top shot, Deep Blue Water Tackle, wind on, can't go wrong. Shimano Speedmaster game, stand up, Talica 50, 2-speed, we're in business.
I know, I tried to put them in bed and use them as a pillow because I want to get close to them. The wife didn't like that.
She wouldn't have liked that. Mind you, they say that after a big day's saltwater fishing, the best thing you can do to look after those rods and reels is literally get down and dirty with it, get naked, chuck it in the shower with you.
Yep.
The hot water dissolves the salt, penetrates the braid, and yeah.
Can say I have done that in Monganui in New Zealand after the Three Kings, after
Three Kings, yeah. Okay, so, but definitely I think there's a lot of merit in that matching tackle outfits. Got to think differently these days. Money's tight, the world's expensive, fishing gear is getting more expensive. You want to buy that top end gear. What we've been able to do is halve the cost of ultimately buying a whole set together.
Yeah.
We go fishing or we share it. Fantastic.
Yeah, and it keeps the level of gear above what you would normally be allowed to buy by the missus
or get away with.
Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, look, it's hands down. Will a TLD 50 2-speed do the job? Absolutely. Will you need to rebuild it after a few jumbo tuna? Possibly.
And I think that's the difference. Like there's a well-known charter operator locally who uses TLDs, occasionally Tiagras. They catch so many tuna. If one breaks and they lose one,
yeah.
But for us, we might only get 2 shots a year.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy the process.
We're going to be able to keep them for life, keep them serviced. It's not like they're bringing out a brand new overhauled model, so parts are obsolete. Tiagras have been around forever and a day. You can't go wrong with those either.
And we're not going to be able to mix them up because mine are going to be scratched and dirty. Yours are going to be immaculate and clean. So at the end of the day, I'm going to try and take yours.
Definitely not.
You're going to know that's not going to happen. You're going to take mine.
We need to have like a rental agreement where if a scratch comes back, is it like a $3,000 excess?
Oh, no. Wear and tear. Natural wear and tear.
Natural wear and tear. That's not the result of the Baron's handling. Well, look, that's just an insight to what we're doing. We're hoping to get out on the tuna together and taking the Just Your Average Fisho's viewers through how we go about it as a part of our Tech Tackle series. Ben, thank you for joining us again.
Pleasure.
As always, Just Your Average Fisho's fans, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, hit that like, share and subscribe. Also check out the Mitcham Angling Club, the home of fishing in Victoria. Catch you next time.